welcome to my channel, you guys. This is Mando Predator. If you're all new to this channel, make sure you'll like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment and share, because I do amazing content. If you're into movie, TV show reviews, gaming reaction videos, and others sorts of content stuff. So today's video we're doing is a reaction video, is a G Grammy video, is field trips were disappointing. Let's get to it.
You would think with the amount of BS that school puts us through, that to be able to take some time away and spend a day somewhere else would be immaculate. Before I ever went on my first field trip, I used to think they were on some magic school bus type ish, but they took us on—
Oh yeah, I remember that show. Basically you just go to, like, I don't know, like people's body. I remember the part where we go inside the human body or something. Weird.
One of the most depressing, boring, and brain-shrinking field trips ever. And this played a big part of my life because in my K through 12 years, I went on a total of about 5 field trips. Like, they were rarer than a Ben Simmons bucket, but y'all already—
Well, some of the field trips weren't that bad, but you get the point.
You know that every field trip that I went on was a family-sized bag of cheeks. So today, we'll be discussing the worst parts about field trips and some of my personal experiences with them. And like and subscribe if you're new. Like I said earlier, I feel like after middle school, we don't even go on field trips anymore. They were as extinct as the dinosaurs they took us to go see. Or if we did have a field trip in high school, you had to go out of your way to go on one. See, back in elementary and middle school, the teacher would pass out permission slips for the entire class. But when you hit high school, that shit was kept undercover. Then just out of nowhere, you see a group of your classmates going on a bus to an amusement park or something. And the amusement park was a one-time thing, don't get it twisted. And not to mention, my school used to be taxing the hell out of us to go on these field trips. Niggas had to pay a college tuition to go on basic ass field trips to a museum. Like, I get it, the school gotta pay for buses, gas, and shit, but there should be no reason why I had to pay a fucking mortgage for it. The rest of the field trips that I went on must have been chose by Doodle Bob or something.
Well, basically you have to give it $1 or something for the field trip parts, okay?
Bro. Now we gotta talk about how early we had to be at the school for these field trips. Now for me personally, I already had to get up at the crack of dawn to go to school. I come to school with bags deeper than Kobe Bryant. But if I went on a field trip, that shit was like living with insomnia. The moment I put my head down to go to sleep, I had to get right back up to go to school. And when I would get there, we had to wait an extra hour for these slow ass teachers to put groups together. Not to mention, once we deadass had to wait for one student who decided he wanted to come a week later. If it were up to me, I would have left that nigga in the dust. But they made us wait for one person to come to school. And the crazy thing is to me is that the places we would go to would close at like 8 p.m. So there is deadass no reason for us to be leaving so early, like we're headed to—
I remember we had to leave so early. I went to that whale. It wasn't that, to tell you the truth, back in my sophomore year of high school, we went to a whale watching in San Diego, California. It was like a 3-hour drive, and the funnest thing of all, it was kind of nice when I got up early. I wasn't even that tired and stuff, but it was a great day, best day ever.
To the airport. Now we gotta talk about the lunches. Now if you watch my video covering school lunches, then you already know about the nuclear waste they were trying to pass off as food. So when we would go on these field trips, all they would do—
What? That's moldy.
It was wrapping in saran wrap. This meant that pretty much everybody brought their own lunch. Nobody was—
I always bring my own. That time when back in school, we went to a field trip to the college trip, the only thing I brought was just Powerade and Takis.
Gonna risk hospitalizing themselves with school food because they were too lazy to pack their own lunch. And obviously I took full advantage of this situation and brought the most delectable goodies I had. I'm talking Oreos, Doritos, Capri Suns. Yeah. My brown paper bag was—
I brought Takis and Power. Yeah, I already said that. Yeah. So for me, like 6th grade, I just got Takis and just Powerade, and that's it.
Looking like a Nikocado avocado mukbang in this bitch. But the problem is that we couldn't eat till like 5 hours later. We would be walking around all day, but couldn't sit down and regain our energy until it was damn near time to leave. The chaperones would deadass wait until our bodies were fucking see-through until they let us eat. And once we went on this field trip in this forest or something, it felt like them niggas had us looking for Bigfoot.
Hey, it's Harry and the Hendersons from that movie Harry and the Hendersons, the Bigfoot guy.
And they made us eat outside. It was muddy and dirty as hell. It looked like everybody had dookie booty afterwards. Not to mention the bugs were jumping the shit out of us like Power Rangers. But regardless, lunch was only one of the slight W's about field trips. Now it's time to talk about the buses. Now I don't know about y'all, but whenever we would take a normal bus to a field trip, the bus would look like Pigpen had just threw a party in that motherfucker. Like the bus would make New York City look clean. Like y'all knew a bunch—
this certainly needs to be cleaned up right there.
Kids were gonna be on this bus, yet you refused to clean it. And more often than not, there would be too many kids for the bus, and we had to triple up in one seat. And once there was 4 kids in one seat, and they deadass were sitting on each other's laps, bro. But when we would leave in the morning, it felt like everybody snorted 5 lines beforehand. It was a fucking ride on the bus, a whole bunch of tomfoolery. You couldn't even hear yourself think. But one time we had an out-of-state trip that we went on. This meant that we got to take a charter bus there. And I remember we were geeked out our fucking minds. We deadass felt like celebrities, bro. And
party on the bus, like a party bus or something? Like it's a party bus. Cause you get hyped up.
I remember it being the best experience I ever had on a bus. But let me tell y'all this, at the very back of the bus, there was a bathroom with a toilet. And if you're familiar with my channel, then you already know what dishonorable act is coming next. While we were coming back from our trip, this big ass kid, like no exaggeration, he was built like Butterbean. This nigga ran to the back of the bus and went into the bathroom. Everybody looked at the back of the bus in pure terror. We already knew what was coming next. About 15 minutes later, he opened the door, and dear God, the most stomach turning, nose hair burning, vomit inducing smell violated our fucking
I'm sorry. I should not be laughing. I can't believe this happened to them. And then to explain this now, like.
noses. Oh, and did I forget to mention that the windows on the buses couldn't open? I deadass started typing my will to send to my parents. And to this day, that is the closest I've ever come to be put on a shirt. But the bus ride coming back from the field trip might possibly be the biggest vibe to ever hit planet Earth. Most of the crackheads I mentioned before would be passed out, but I didn't trust falling asleep on a bus full of teenagers. Them niggas would have had my face looking like a desk in detention. Now we gotta talk about the chaperones that would come with us on these field trips. Little did we know back then, but these were the Karens before they were famous. Firstly, half the chaperones would be the teachers themselves, and y'all already know how I feel about my teachers, but the other half will be these kids' parents, and some of them will be cool, but some of them will be the most immoral individuals I've ever came in contact with. They used to be so fucking strict for no reason. I get it, you don't want to lose any kids or have anybody get hurt, but at the same time, let me get on my door shit.
I'm glad that didn't happen to me. Well, it happened because my dad was actually a teacher, because he teaches at a high school, and I was the student there. But it's alright.
Go explore. Like, they wouldn't let us do anything, and they were always yelling at us for no reason. They were getting mad over the smallest shit. They really thought they were intimidating niggas too. They thought they were making us shake in our boots. But in reality, nobody gave a fuck about them or what they had to say. They deadass made most of my teachers look like heavenly angels. Now that's some shit I never thought I would witness with my pupils. Now we gotta talk about how boring most of the field trips were. I know that most of you have gone on the stereotypical museum.
Tell you the truth, they're alright, but it's kind of our boring because the looking at things is just
field trip. Those were by far the worst field trips. Fuck do I look like walking around for hours looking at bones, and most of the time there was nothing for us to interact with. It was just like window shopping at the mall when you got no bread. Another field trip that I vividly remember was to this village, and it was pretty much a bunch of grown ass niggas pretending like they were from the 1940s. It was a bunch of old ass niggas giving lectures about how people lived back then. Like, bro, I really don't care about how old man McGucket was churning butter. And I know y'all also remember the classic zoo field trip.
I love the zoo. Because there's a song called The Phoenix Zoo. The Phoenix Zoo, the apes go, ooh. And I forgot the rest.
When I realized how corrupt and twisted zoos were. Like, these niggas were just sitting in their pens like moody teenagers, when in reality they should be out hunting a gazelle or something.
That's what I want to see. I actually want to see the tiger, the lions. You know, I'm not going to talk about that. Not on here. But I did see a rhino fell asleep. But I see a tiger moving, but it moved slowly and just fell in the water and licking his paw. So cute.
They also smelled worse than Butterbean from the charter bus, which seemed like a damn near impossible feat. But zoo field trips were really just depressing to me. Free my niggas out the pen. And I know y'all remember the merchandise stores that they used to have. Now back then, I had no funds to my name. And like I said earlier, the field trip itself costed a lung and a kidney. So I never had any money to bring on these field trips. The chaperones tried their hardest to try and cock block us from going to the stores though. But at the same time, I wasn't really missing out on shit because everything in those stores looked like it fell off the back of a fucking pickup truck. And they had the nerve to be taxing us just as much as the schools did. They deadass were charging $50 for a stuffed giraffe. I can get the same thing off Amazon.
I do want to get some plushies for my little animals. They're cute.
For a fifth of the price. And of course these NPCs that I went to school with were cashing out on all this shit. These museums were really trying to finesse some bands from some 12-year-olds. Put their ass behind bars for life. I also gotta mention what would happen when we would see another school on the same field trip as us. Now I don't know about y'all, but when we seen a different school district on the same field trip as us, it was on sight. There was more beef than a filet mignon. I remember me and my group of friends pulled up on another group of students and started baking them. But one time it went too far and a fight broke out and someone from our school folded another kid like Sunday laundry.
Dang.
But by far, the absolute worst part about field trips is the work that we had to do after. You would think that after spending 6 hours at a museum that the teacher would let us go about our jolly way. But these niggas don't believe in peace. After spending a whole day at a science museum, everybody is struggling to stay awake and they got the nerve to hand me a 5-page packet. And what's crazy—
Are you kidding me? I can't believe this happened, man. Like, I'm glad this didn't happen to me, but now it's explaining, like, wow, I feel bad for these kids now.
Is that the packet wouldn't even be about our favorite experiences or anything. There'll be actual work with questions about what they were explaining on the field trip. We would have to write constitution-length essays about—
I wouldn't even remember what they explained because the next day I'll like lose that memory or something.
How photosynthesis works. My nigga, the whole point that I went on this field trip was to get away from doing this shit. At this point, I should have just stayed at school. And speaking of staying at school, finally we gotta talk about what it was like staying behind on a field trip when most of the other kids went on it. I remember in middle school, I stayed behind on one field trip, and I was scared to go to school that day. I thought they were gonna make us work, but let me tell you, it was the most divine, soothing, and majestic day I've ever had at school. It was just me, my friend, and some random broad that we don't really care about. But we literally spent the entire day just playing board games and using our phones. A day away from those preposterous people just felt so therapeutic. But speaking about staying behind on the field trips, just jogged my memory about the kids who will get left on the actual field trip. Once we left this kid at a science museum, and we didn't realize till we were like 5 blocks away already. But nobody even realized he was missing, not even his group mates. So we had to spin the block to come pick him up. I don't think he really cared, and that probably should have been a lawsuit, but hey, I'm not the feds. But I think that's gonna cover everything in this video, man. And once again, this is just another episode in the School is Shitty Chronicles. Thank y'all for watching and showing so much love and support to the channel, man. Thank y'all, truly. Comment down below the worst experience that you've ever had on a field trip, and like and subscribe if you're new, man, because we taking over 2023, man. You might as well join the family. Also, let me know what you want to see next down in the comments below. I hope this video finds you in good spirits. I'm G Grimy. It's been real. I'm out. I love y'all. Stay up. Peace.
Sounds sketchy right there. Oh man, everything I have to see in this video there's so much laughter to this part. But some of the field trips I went weren't that bad, but some of them were like, meh. The best one I really went, like I explained it already, was like the whale. Well, it was like for like our animal kingdom with our science teachers and stuff for fun. We went to San Diego, California. It was like rainy and really cloudy at the time, really cold in February. And then we went to go whale watching on the boats and stuff, and it was just so fun. I had so much fun there. It was a 3-hour drive, and watching some after the drive. We rented cars. We watched I watched some Netflix on there, and then some Marvel MCU, some Disney Plus. That got me so on the trip and stuff. It's just so fun. And then we came back. We had some dinner and stuff to go home. It was like the best day ever. Got some cool pictures, saw some ships, and then the other cool field trip. And then also there was a field trip I didn't really like going was the college, like the college back in the college or something, like a college district or something, campus. I've been there many times before. They're okay, but it's just going there too many times and stuff. It's just no. But the only thing for like the snacks I was bought back then, it was like 6th grade. I bought Takis and Powerade and stuff. Brought my backpack and some water. And then this other field trip I went to was I think I went to this field trip and also I went to the science convention that freshman year. That was fun too. Hanging out with the cool friends and stuff, fun things and stuff, looking through animals, and it's pretty fun. If you guys love field trips, going to like cool conventions and stuff, I would like to do that. And also, I'm planning for this channel update, I'm planning to do some cool vlogging videos and stuff, but there's not really good places I want to go. I don't have enough money and stuff. I'm trying to get better on this content and channel and page and stuff. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Make sure you all like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, follow me on all my social medias. And this is Mando signing off.